Hey, this is ASpengler, and this is episode 3 of building the Battle of Metz in Lego. As you can see here, some of my bricklink orders have come in. And sorry if my voice sounds a little weird, I'm a little sick. I'll just start this episode out by going through what I've got really quick. Some grass pieces for the landscape. Most of these gray pieces will be for tanks and vehicles. I got there's a bunch of different stuff in here. I got some parts. I'll use these clear studs I'm planning on making little like puddles along the road, so I'll use those for that. And then there's some other like pieces I'll use for rocks and then some tank parts. Here I got some more jungle pieces and then parts for tanks. And I've got some more just pieces for the terrain. Here I've got some wheels for tanks. I'll use these studs for like cobblestone walkway. Here I've got some more tank parts. I use these for my Shermans. That's for Kubelwagen. More tank parts. I'm gonna use these to make the detail of the tanks treads going in the mud. Lots more tank parts. These will be used for just more detail. Tank parts, detail, terrain, and tank parts. A lot of this was tank parts. More tank parts. Tank parts. Again, more cobblestone pieces. And then the light gray tank parts. Here's these. I got more of these masonry brick pieces. And those will be for the house. Most of this stuff. Tank parts I'll use. Some of my tanks are missing pieces, so that's what some of the things like the wheels are for. There's more terrain pieces. Okay, I think I have one more bricklink order coming in, but that was most of them. As for this segment, I'm going to be adding more detail to the terrain, and I'm gonna pull these pieces back off because for the detail that I'm thinking about putting in for this road, I'm gonna need some more space. So I'll pull these off and then go a little lower, but then eventually it will all even out. But for now, I'll just take those off, and for what I have in mind, I'll be able to set that in there. It will make more sense in the future, and I'll just be adding more detail to the terrain to make it look a little more even. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start adding to the terrain and building up the road. Okay, coming back to see what I've done. I have removed that section. I only did half of it because I decided that the tanks wouldn't have made it all the way into the town. They would have just gone in here. So I removed all these bricks. Then I started kind of building what I would think I would put in here. It's something like this. Fits in there good. I'll have it elevated a little bit more on some studs. But right now I just had it there. If you look closer, you can kind of see what it's doing. See, I have these grill pieces and then flat pieces on the side. When I put that, it looks like the tank, it kind of makes the tank tread look on like the tank drove through the mud. You can see that. There. So that's kind of the look I'm going for. I'll probably just have it all along that road area. I'll probably put some sort of detail for this back part, but probably not the same since the tanks didn't get there yet. I'll probably put, since there'll be some German vehicles up there, I'll probably put in some like tire tracks or something. I'll figure that out later. I'll start with this section. I didn't put any terrain difference yet. I was waiting for my last bricklink order, which came, and I got more studs, some more tank parts, and then also these green pieces I'll use for terrain. So more green for terrain, more tank parts. Here's some tank parts and some pieces I'll use for just terrain. Same here. And a bunch of these slope pieces, grills. Most of these are just tank parts. But then these modified bricks with the little knob stud on the end. If you remember, I'll use these are going to be used to make the houses. So I needed these. One thing I forgot to get was the actual tiles. So I don't think I have enough, so I might have to order some more of those. But for now I have these. And so I have those also those mason brick pieces, so I can at least get started on the house if I get that far. Okay, now I'll just continue on building at that road, and maybe I'll get on to some of the side details or terrain details, just even out the terrain. Okay, go ahead and do that. Okay, I have completed the road, or at least half of the road. So you can see there, I got my tanks there, so you can kind of see why or where I guess I missed this corner. I'll figure out what I'll do for that later. But there you can see I've put down all these little grill pieces to make it look like tracks through the mud. Up to about the halfway point. And then it kind of just ends off right there. I didn't do any other details or terrain editing. I've mostly been working on just this. There. Just this road. Let me just give you a quick overview look. If you look closely, you can see how I use these corner pieces to put along here. This whole thing is like a solid part I just set in there, and then these cover over it. Here you can see the whole road. It looks pretty nice. It does look a little out of the ordinary by itself. It needs those tanks next to it, or it'll look better when overall there's lots of detail. I'll figure out what I'm doing up there later. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and start just kind of extending this a little bit, making it look more like it would in nature, just the terrain look more even and less just blocky, I guess. But I guess it's all gonna look blocky overall. So I guess I'll go ahead and start editing the terrain. Okay, I have started detailing. I've done most of my detailing for the lower area, or I guess this by meaning lower area. I left the top part pretty much just there until I finish the buildings and know where they're going to be. I don't want to push into that space yet, because I might mess up how much room I'll need and just other little details like that. I did put in a little thing in the corner there. I had some dark green from the Kashik box, so I wanted to put that in. I guess that's more of a swampy corner. I guess I'll probably put like a swamp, or I don't know. I'll put a tree there. Maybe a swampy tree. I guess I should check with like the terrain of Metz first. I want to try to stay like accurate to, or historically accurate and accurate to the landscape, with like trees and other things like that. Okay, here you can see just some of the little things I've done. It's somewhat hard to notice, but I've added some green extensions. I added this little patch here, and brown parts. I added these round pieces, and also little extensions along there. On the road, I added a little part around it, this part here, and on the other side. That gives it a little bit more depth. And the brown patches that were back there, they're a little bit bigger, so it's not just one stud. There's just that dark green patch. Then you can notice there's just a little bit more extension and other stuff for just the land detailing. But in this vehicle, it's a Cat and Crad. I forgot to put that in my German World War II forces. It wasn't completely finished. It was just I had it originally finished, but then I took some parts off it and put it in the closet, and then forgot about it. And I just recently rebuilt it. I think I might put it in here because I want to put in a pat gun, and it would make sense for something to put to that had brought it there. And usually these utility vehicles, they would basically be used to just tow stuff around. So that's why I'm showing it. I'll probably include it since it's a nice small vehicle, and I could just set it behind one of the buildings, because they won't want it to be too exposed. Okay, I'll probably what I'll work on next is starting at the large building in the back. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it because of the tiles. Like I said before, I forgot to order more of them, so I might not be able to completely finish it, but I'll probably be able to get a pretty good start on it. I think I'll put a ruin building on this side. I still have to figure out how big it's going to be and how I'm going to do that one also. And like I said, I'll be building I cleared this base plate off. I'll be building the building or house thing, structure, and then building it on that, and then I'll be placing it in there so it's easily removable, and I'll just figure out a way to hide that green because buildings wouldn't have just had a green basement and stuff like that. So I think I'll put like a cobblestone around it so it will hide that the little green line you'll see eventually from it after the building's there. So I'll go ahead and start building the building. Okay, I have completed the terrain detail like I did, and I have started on the building. I've got pretty much the whole first floor of the main building done. I got these 7 windows and this door. I didn't put in a door because eventually I'll just have it, the door was blown out. So I have this frame. I thought the frame turned out pretty well. I have the brick pattern like I said I would. Got brick on 2 of the 4 sides done. Now that here you can kind of see what I did, how I put all the stud pieces. And I ran out of the dark bluish gray tile pieces. I'll order more of those, and I'm running out of these. So if I'm going to do a second floor, I'll probably need to order more of these too. And I'm starting to run out of the knob bricks. So these ones I'll need. I know I have a few of the brick parts of the masonry bricks. I don't know if I'll need more of these. It depends on what I'll do. I'll probably order some more so I can, for the second building, even though the second building won't be a complete building like this one. And you'll notice I haven't done any like explosive damage on this yet. I think I'm gonna build like the whole building first, and then I'll go back and put some like craters in it and holes in the walls, stuff like that. And here you can see how I did the windows. There's just the flat tiles. Again, I used a bunch of these for my detail. I thought it turned out pretty well. It was pretty much what I was expecting. Got 2 German soldiers in there. And another side note, my brother completed one of the special LEDs, just one of them. And it'll eventually, we're talking about mounting them on the ceiling, and so it'll just work out really well. They're really bright and they don't heat up, so they're really nice. I'll eventually have 2 of them, and we're planning on probably just hooking them to the ceiling so I can cover this post up with more paper or cardboard paper, so it will be, or poster paper I mean, so it'll be more like that side, and then it'll just make the area look nicer. Okay, so that's what I have for this segment or episode. It's not focusing. There we go. I'll finish up this building after I get more pieces. I guess the structure is pretty much all done. It's just the outside tiling. I guess I might in the future segments just start working on the second floor before I get more tiles. As you see here, I have some of the dark red tiles, but that was mostly just Probably could find some more of these around and just finish up this floor or these side walls. But I thought it's turned out really nice. This is the first like World War II building I've ever made, and I thought I'm doing a pretty good job so far. I guess we'll have to see with the overall how it will look. I'll probably just do slope tiles for the roof. Maybe something different that will make it easier to make explosion like craters and stuff. But for now, I'm planning on doing just a regular slope bricks. I might have an example of what I'm talking about. It's the opposite of these ones, if you know what I mean. I probably could go find some, but like these parts, just not in this color. I'm thinking about maybe black, probably black. I'll have to see if I have enough. I might need to order some more, but plan on that. Second floor will probably look pretty much the same, but I'll get into that in my next segment. You'll see it in my next segment. I'll probably just make it one more story high and then the roof. And I'll probably put like a gunner in the window, just planning ahead, I guess, of how it will look in the mock. I think I'll make the second building similar in structure. I'm still thinking if I'll do a full building, maybe like something like this, just no top floor or roof, or maybe a little bit like a section. Maybe I'll do like half this, then part of the second floor, and then part of the roof, just a really ruined building. That's planning ahead. Hey, I'm gonna end out this episode. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.